Hello again and welcome to the Warhammer 40k videos. So, today's video we're going to be talking about a rather sad topic. I know many of you have been putting down in the comments you want my opinion on this, although I know you probably will be already have successfully guessed what I will say. We're going to be talking about the removal of many of the old regiments from Games Workshop's product line. So for those of you that live oh such sheltered lives, essentially what Games Workshop has done has completely and utterly discontinued the old style metal regiments from their website. So Destroyers, Mordians, Valhallans, all of them have now gone the way of the dodo. Talon as well. Armageddon, Steel Legion to a certain extent have also been removed. So it's really sad, guys. It's really sad. I honestly, I'm not 100% surprised. Okay, it didn't shock me to my core. It didn't make me gasp in disbelief when I heard this has happened. Okay, put it that way. I remember many years ago when I first got into playing Mordians, so 7 or 8 years ago. I remember Games Workshop saying that they were going to discontinue production of the metal models. And that's what got me into the Mordians, because I was Cadians through and through, and I thought, well, this is going to be the last chance I'm going to get. So that's why I went nuts and bought loads and loads and loads of Mordians. So we've almost had 8 years, for this to come. And sadly it has finally come to pass now. I mean, looking at the Games Workshop website now, the only metal regiment that is still available is the Steel Legion with grenade launcher and missile launcher. But all the Steel Legion las cannon, Steel Legion heavy bolter, Steel Legion plasma gun, that's all gone. All the Talon, even Colonel Schaffer's last chances have gone. Even the Tanith first and only have gone. I'm really, really surprised. I am surprised. I mean, I'm not shocked, but I am surprised that they did it. And I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because Games Workshop just released, after so many years of Guard players begging, please, can we have regimental traits back? They finally give them to us, and then they take away the models that we need. And it's like, hang on a second, this is the one time you don't want to be taking away those metal models. Convert them into resin, maybe. Give us some kind of plastic upgrade kit, sure. But why the fuck would you give people, what are people going to do now? This is what boggles the mind. Okay, what are people going to do now? When they get their Guard Codex, they haven't got anything else. They look at all the pictures of Destroyers. They look at all the pictures and they go, you know what? And they read the fluff and they read the rules and they go, you know what? I really fucking want. I really, really want a Destroyer army. So they go on Games' website and they scan and they search and they can't find anything. So they go on forums and they find, oh yeah, Games Workshop removed the models. So what are they going to do? They're going to do one of two things. They're going to either stop playing 40k. They'll go, well, if I can't buy models for the faction that I want, I'm just not going to do it. Or they're going to go to a third-party retailer. They're going to go to someone like Anvil Industries, who make pretty good Destroyer stand-ins. Not quite the same, but pretty good. For Mordians, they're going to go to Victoria Miniatures. And so it just upsets me, because it boggles my mind, number one, because it's like, Games Workshop, why are you pushing everyone away? Why are you encouraging people to finally vary their Guard army and then snatch it away? I mean, look at me, for example, myself. I was a Mordian player through and through. 100% Mordian And then, because it didn't really matter what regiment I had, because there were no unique regiment traits, Games Workshop releases this latest codex, gives me Armageddon Steel Legion traits, and do what I do? I go out there and spend hundreds of pounds. Literally. I had 40 infantry already. I've gone and bought another 40 directly from 10 from second hand, 30 from Games Workshop. I bought 3 armoured sentinels. I bought 5 chimeras. I had 1 left over. And I bought 2 Leman Russes. I had 2 already that I could use. My point is I bought 2 Leman Russes, 5 chimeras, 3 sentinels. That's 10 vehicles and 30 infantry, because Games Workshop gave me rules. And I know loads of people who did the same, who went, finally, rules. I've been collecting Cadians, because what's the point in collecting? Because people used to say, this is what boggles the mind, right? This is what confuses me. People used to go, oh, well, I could buy the metal models, but there's no point. Why spend more money on a squad that does the same thing? I'll just buy Cadian shock troops. And so people bought, Cadians. And then when they got special rules for their regiment, I know loads of goblins who went out there and bought the Destroyer models. There's that incentive to buy something other than Cadian shock troops. And so now that incentive is gone. I mean, it's just so dumb. Now there's especially considering that the Cadian shock troop box is really outdated. I mean, the models look okay, but you have to add all the little, and it is little, bits you get. You have to add all the little grenades and stuff to make them halfway passable, really, to keep them up to date. And all you've got to do what I did and go out and buy loads of third-party backpacks to give them a bit of something. Like Cadian shock troops, honestly, in comparison to, well, in my opinion, the monopose metal regiments, they didn't look as good. Because most of the time when you saw Cadian shock troops, people didn't glue the extra bits on. Whereas with the metal models, you've always got the ammo pouches, you've always got the canteen, the bedroll, the knife. So, a lot I say is about my Steel Legion. My Steel Legion look better than my Cadians, despite the fact that my Steel Legion are from 3rd edition. And my Cadians are from I think it's like 5th edition. So, it saddens me. I think it's a really stupid move by Games Workshop. And I think the way they handled it was awful. Forge World has been cutting lots of their products recently. But at least they've had the goddamn common courtesy to fuck us in the ass and give us a reach around at the same time by giving us bloody last chance to buy. Games Workshop hasn't even given us that courtesy. At least Forge World gave us some warning. And I can tell you now, the moment I heard that these regiments were getting taken down, what do you think I did? I went and bought 2 more boxes of Steel Legion. Because in case I needed them. Because I wasn't going to get them at a decent price. If Games Workshop had given me a last chance to buy, I guarantee I would have gone and bought 3 boxes of Mordians. Do you know why? Because I have 120 Mordian riflemen. And I want 150. And the reason I want 150 is because then I would have been able to fulfill the Emperor Shield Infantry Company with Mordians. Now, that's an old formation, but basically what the Emperor Shield Infantry Company showed us was the standard company size for the Imperial Guard. It's 150. I can't really do that anymore. I only have 120. I might be able to scavenge around and have a few bits here and there that might make it work, but I'm pretty sure that unless I want to go and spend a ridiculous amount of money on eBay, and I'm telling you now, guys, it will be a ridiculous amount of money, I will never be able to finish my pure metal Mordian Iron Guard. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Mordian Glory, you fine little pubic louse, you've had plenty of time. You've had years. Yeah, that's true. But I don't have the financial capacity, unless given warning, unless I can move some money around. I don't really have the financial capacity to go out there and just drop however much money it would cost to get me 150 metal Mordians overnight. Also, the sanity painting all that in one go. I don't really have that ability. So, it's appreciated when we're given a bit of warning. Now, rant over, sad times over, what can we hope for? Well, number one, as I speak right now, Armageddon Steel Legion Basic Infantry Squad is still on sale there. I don't know what that means. Maybe it means there'll be an Armageddon campaign soon if they're keeping those models around. That would be cool. Maybe they just have loads of Armageddon Steel Legions still stockpiled, so I don't know. Maybe it's because I think the Armageddon Steel Legion were one of the only ones that came with, you know, a grenade launcher and a missile launcher, which actually made them pretty popular. I don't know. But at least we can still buy Steel Legion. At least I was able to get a couple more boxes before they went the way of the dodo. What else? There is a chance, albeit a small one, that Games Workshop will release an upgrade kit. Similar to how they do a Crimson Fist upgrade kit, or an Iron Warriors, or an Iron Hands, or a Black Templars, or like when they do the little upgrades for the Ultramarines and Dark Angels, they may do an upgrade kit for the Cadian Shock Troops. Okay? It wouldn't take a lot. You'd have to have basically, as far as I could see, just to be honest, the only real thing you need to do is release some head swaps. That's all you'd really need to do. But to make them, to make the Cadian Shock Troops viable, I mean, you just need heads for Valhallans and Destroyers and Mordians. That's all you'd really need. I mean, it would be having different arms as well, possibly. You wouldn't need a huge amount, so you'd have a head. You've had sprues with heads, great, and then you'd have sprues with basically like lasgun arms on it, and so you'd have like the frilly ones for the Mordians, or some kind of greatcoat configuration for the Valhallans. I don't know how you'd do it, to be honest. The easiest way they could do it is at least give us some head swaps, but that's it really. What does this mean for the future? Well, it doesn't bode well, does it? Because if a new codex comes out, where's Games Workshop's incentive to give us regimental traits again? Doesn't really exist. So, the conclusion I draw from this is I'm very disappointed in the way Games Workshop has handled it. I think there is a couple of glimmers of hope. Some people have said this will be potential for an entirely new plastic range. Maybe. But Games Workshop, if this was Games Workshop of old, 6th and 7th edition, where they keep things under their hats until the day of release, then I would agree with you. But this is new Games Workshop in inverted commas. Those guys like to hype the balls out of everything. And let me tell you, don't you think that they would have made a huge deal out of a new plastic guard kit? They would have given us a month's warning. They would have hyped the bollocks off that thing. So that's why I'm sceptical that they're going to bring out a new plastic kit, but I hope I'm proven wrong. So where to go from here? What can you do if you want to have alternative guard regiments? Well, basically, guys, you've still got your Cadians, you've still got your Catachans, which is okay, I guess. They've not got rid of all metal models, because you can still buy Cadian plasma guns and melter guns in the sprue, which is nice. You can still buy Armageddon Steel Legion as is, but for how long, I don't know. The number one place you probably want to go, if you're not bothered about playing in your local Games Workshop, is to go to somewhere like Anvil Industries, who do pretty much a kit for every alternative. They've got pith helmets, they've got Mordian hats, they've got like loads of. They've got Destroyer stuff now. They've got Valhallan style heads. They've got all the different greatcoats. Basically, guys, you'll probably be spending a little more. Instead of £18 for a squad, you're probably spending between 25 and 30, depending on how many bits and bobs you want. But you will be able to still scratch that itch. But what if you're a newbie guy who likes to play in the Games Workshop? Well, newbie not meant as an insult, just naturally I tend to find people grow out of their Games Workshops. But whatever. Anyway, let's not read into the comment too much. What if you're just a guy who likes to play as local Games Workshop and you still want to be able to collect a unique and awesome looking Imperial Guard Force? What do? Well, you're going to want to turn to Necromunda. Okay, very simply, you're going to want to turn to Necromunda. I'm trying to find what I would recommend. Well, definitely. Well, Necromunda's got loads of good options in it. At the end of the day, Necromunda has. If we're looking at it, if you wanted to go for like a high tech kind of Destroyan vibe, you could use the House Van Saar. If you wanted to go for just a generic sort of gang, well, not gang, generic guard, alternative guard force, you could go for House Orlok. They could pretty much do anything. The Destroyers could definitely be represented by the House Cawdor, or the peasanty guys, the conscript guys. Yeah, I would say if you really want a unique looking guard force now, you want to start looking at Necromunda. And if you want to still play any local Games Workshop. Okay? So guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope we're not all going to be crying the sky is falling. As always, we are guardsmen. We take blow after blow and we pick ourselves up. Once again, though, we have been betrayed by Games Workshop, but we'll just have to give them the middle finger and say, you know what? We're just going to keep on going. But when I do not condemn anyone who decides they are no longer going to buy any infantry models from Games Workshop. I highly recommend you check out third-party players and, you know, make a point. Get on the community website. Get on the community Facebook. Make your voice heard. We cannot go silently into the night. We cannot go out without a fight. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.